Hello and welcome back to another fun-filled edition of the Viva Film Podcast. I'm your host Caleb, and today I am joined by my number one, Anthony. Anthony, how are you doing today?
Am I the number one this week? Is it me?
Yes, you are.
Yay! I'm so excited.
But that could change next week if you're not good.
Uh-oh, I'll get demoted?
Yeah,
Or I'll get sent out the airlock?
exactly. And then
Okay.
I'll just do the podcast with myself and Invisible Anthony.
You know, how ironic, because on our last podcast, the podcast we had before this, it was the Star Wars series that you did after I quit.
Yeah,
So it would be ironic if, like, now you have to do the Star Trek series on your own.
that would be... Yeah, it's really funny too, because I remember that we did the Marvel movies. We did like phase one, and then I feel like both of us just were like, fuck this after that. Because like I only did like 2 episodes without you, and then I stopped.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there was a lot of other stuff going on because, like, we were dealing with unsavory characters when we were making that previous podcast.
Yeah.
And I was getting kind of annoyed by that. And yeah, and I feel like this podcast is just, I just enjoy it a lot more because we're talking about movies we love, you know?
Yeah,
Especially
not this week, but most weeks, yeah.
Most weeks we do, yeah. Well, this week we'll be talking about 2 films. One is not good, and the other is Star Trek Generations. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. I'm making funny jokes. But how are you doing this week, Caleb? How's your week been?
I'm sleepy.
You're
Tired.
sleepy?
I was working. I worked really late last night.
Oh
And
yeah.
I got to go back to work after this because that's what capitalism does to us. Is it wears you down, and it just
Well, Caleb, may I recommend you something? I am currently drinking Earl Grey tea out of my Charlie Brown mug.
Oh,
So maybe order some Earl Grey hot. Maybe that'll wake you up.
that's good. I'm drinking. Or I was. I'm pretty much out of it. Oh, I have like a sip left. I'm gonna take a sip, folks. Everybody, listen. I know we have dead air.
What are you drinking?
I'm sorry. I'm drinking this kind of like whatever a black coffee, which I'm not trying to be a dick. I like shitty coffee, like genuinely. It's a problem I have.
Okay.
And I'm using a nice like non dairy free oat gingerbread creamer, and it's out of my Marvel mug, so that's fun.
You have the Marvel mug. I have the Charlie Brown mug.
The two genders.
The two genders, Marvel and Charlie Brown. I was going to mention this, but the tea that I'm drinking is actually Star Trek themed. It's
Wait, is it really?
yeah, Earl Grey hot. It has a picture of Picard on the front there.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know if
beautiful.
you can see that.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that.
It's from this store called Geeky Teas, which is a game shop in Burbank. They do board games and card games and stuff, and they sell teas, loose leaf tea, and this is one of the teas they have, and I bought it, and it's delicious. So, and they do sell their teas online if you're interested at all. This is not sponsored. They do not know that I'm talking about them on the air. They probably don't even know who I am, but I do recommend their tea. It is very good.
Yeah. But speaking of sponsors, today we are sponsored by BetterHelp.
Oh,
no,
no.
we're not. Don't
No.
use BetterHelp.
No, we are not sponsored by anybody. If you're listening to this and you want us to sponsor you, definitely reach out. As you can tell, this is an exciting podcast where we talk about tea and Star Trek and former producers who have allegations against them.
Yeah. But also I was gonna say, so I have a story that's related to Star Trek, just from like my normal life. That's not related to this podcast.
Okay.
So I was in an Uber going to work the other day, and my Uber driver, we were talking about movies, and he mentioned that he saw the Wrath of Khan re-release or something, and we were talking about it, and we started talking about, like, we just had a conversation about Nicholas Meyer, just on my way to work, and I just thought that was really cool, and weird because, like, what a fun coincidence, because we're like doing this series right now.
Yes, and as our audience has heard in the previous episodes, is that you and I are Nicholas Meyer fans.
Yeah,
Um,
he's really
uh, uh,
good.
yeah, he's great writer, great director. Made some of the best Star Trek films, and he was not involved with either of the films we're talking about today. So,
You can't tell at all.
but besides Star Trek, I mean, have you seen anything else recently, Caleb? Any good movies lately that you've been checking out that aren't Star Trek related?
I watched this really good indie comedy yesterday called Oh Hi, that Molly Gordon and Logan Lerman and Geraldine Viswanathan are in.
Nice.
Really funny. There's a lot of sex in it, so if you don't like that, I guess don't watch it. But like, it's really funny, really good, really charming.
Hmm.
I also watched Paddington 2 for the first time.
Oh, wonderful.
I thought that was wonderful. I love that little guy. Love Sally Hawkins.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, yeah, you know, guilty as charged. And then a couple weeks ago, I was just in LA, and me and you, we got to see Frankenstein.
Yes,
Guillermo
Frankenstein.
del Toro, and
Yeah.
I went crazy and saw a shit ton of it. Cool, because we saw Begonia also that weekend,
Mm-hmm.
which is phenomenal. And then the next day I did a double feature, and barely made my train afterwards. But I did a double feature of If I Had Legs I'd Kick You and The Black Phone 2, which If I Had Legs I'd Kick You is fucking amazing. Congratulations to Rose Byrne for that Oscar she's gonna win. And for The Black
I
Phone
certainly
2,
I certainly hope so.
yeah, and The Black Phone 2 is like a great movie. It is better than the first one.
Okay.
And also, if you, the two things I'll say is if you've been missing Nightmare on Elm Street, watch Black Phone 2. It's just a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And
Oh, interesting.
number two, that I'll also say is if you want a great example of how to write a sequel, watch that movie because it like takes everything from the first movie, expands upon it, and makes it better. So
Nice. Yeah, I initially did not really have a lot of interest in seeing the Black Phone Part 2. However, based on your description as well as reactions to it, I will check it out. I will check it out maybe sometime this week.
yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
great needle drop in it. Like
I do love a good needle drop. Yes.
yeah, it's a good. Yeah, it's just great vibe. Great movie to see at Alamo Drafthouse in LA. Which if you know me personally, know I fucking love that place. Even if whenever you come in to see your movie, sometimes you accidentally catch the only other guy in the theater trying to hit on the woman taking orders, and that's
What?
awkward as fuck. Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah, like it was like because she just said hi, my name is this, and like as I was coming, he's like, oh, is it just us today? And I was like, no, there's Caleb here.
No,
I didn't
there's
say
Caleb
that.
here. That would be
Like,
that would be a great name for a sitcom. Like, no, there's Caleb here.
Yeah, that is really good.
Or for your solo podcast, that'll be it. Like, no, there's Caleb here.
Yeah. which I might be starting like a side project at some point. I don't know if it's going to be a YouTube channel or a podcast or what it'll be, but there's a logo for it.
Nice. Yes.
There's
we're
2
already-
hours worth of content that I've recorded for it that I haven't released.
That's so funny because I remember when I was in high school, I was in a quote unquote punk band, and
Oh, yeah.
we didn't do any music, but we spent hours drawing our logo.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
It's like half the reason you join a punk band is so you can come up with a cool logo that would look nice on patches and stuff. Anyways, very nice. Yeah. I saw a couple good movies. I saw Die My Darling, which is the newest Lynn Ramsey film.
Oh, yeah.
And or is it Die My Love?
It's Die My Love.
It's Die My Love. Thank you for correcting me, Caleb.
Die My Darling is a good name, though.
Well, there's Die My Darling, which is
yeah.
the movie, and then subsequent Misfits song. And then I saw Hedda, and Hedda is very good. Go watch it if you get the chance.
Yes, I need to watch that this week at some point because I love that Nia DaCosta.
I do too. I love when Nia DaCosta isn't making giant comic book movies.
Yeah, that shit was not her fault. I know you agree with me on this. That was completely not her fault at all.
Yeah. No, Nia did great with what she was given. But yeah, so
Yeah, and she's doing the Bone Temple for the 28 years later, and I can't wait for that.
I am looking forward to it. Yeah, the Bone Temple, and 28 years later, another one of my favorite movies from this year because it's a good movie. And if you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with you, mate.
There's a giant penis in that movie.
There is, yeah, a giant prosthetic penis in that film. Anyways, you know, funny enough, it's the second movie I've seen this year that included a zombie giving birth. So,
What was the other one?
well, I rewatched Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead a couple weeks ago.
Oh, does that happen in that movie?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know about the zombie baby in that movie?
No,
I just spoiled a huge part of that film now.
Well, god damn it! Now what am I gonna fucking do?
I don't know, man. I guess you can't watch Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Wait, there's a zombie baby in fucking Army of the Dead too.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I remember because the zombie king that he's like walking around. He's got like a
listen,
got,
Caleb.
There's
Caleb,
zombie birth. What?
At the end of that film, the moment they started playing "Zombie" by the Cranberries, I just went into a blinding rage, and I don't remember anything else from that night. Okay, so
from that night,
I just remember pacing back and forth in my room and just being really fucking angry.
Yeah, well, because you know what's funny is I remember I watched that movie in two halves because I watched half of it, and because this is when you still lived in San Diego and you'd come over like once a week and we'd watch like a movie. And I remember I watched half of it, and you came over and we watched a different movie together. It might have been like Prisoners or something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
And then you like went home, and then like the next morning I woke up and finished Army of the Dead. And I felt bad because I was telling you, I was like, yeah, it's like a kind of fine zombie movie, and then it falls completely apart by the end of it. And then I was like, why the fuck did I tell him that? No, that's why you should finish movies before recommending them to your friends.
No, that's fine. I mean, I was gonna watch it anyways. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like the movie does start out like interesting enough, and there's like an interesting concept, but yeah, it does kind of fall apart. And when they get into like the whole, well, maybe we're in a time loop and all that other nonsense, I'm just like, Zach, stop.
But it's funny too because with Army of the Dead they had like a prequel movie, and they might have had like an anime. They were gonna have an animated movie at some point. But it's like, because Netflix has been doing this thing, like they did that, and then with The Witcher, where there's like 4 seasons of The Witcher now. You have this the origin show. You have like 2 animated movies and like a secret movie they released alongside the 4th season. And it's just like Netflix is producing like a lot of this. Like they want you to be watching like 15 things at once, but it's just kind of like it's like, is there interest for that? Like, I love the Witcher franchise. I love the games, but it's like, is there interest for like, oh, like I gotta watch this new Witcher season and new movie, or is this just like this is a podcast about Star Trek today, but it's just fascinating to me.
I mean, that's a whole other podcast episode about the state of streaming and how it's just an overload of media where it's like you don't even know where to start and where to begin, and it's when you get people who just decide just to not watch things. Like,
yeah.
It's like, fuck it. I'm just not going to watch anything. I don't give a shit anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's like, you know, hey, every 3 months you can watch a new Marvel and a new Star Wars. New products. It's like the fucking, what's the Red Letter Media thing? The Nerd Crew?
Yeah, I like to consume. Like,
where that made Christian Harloff fucking shit his pants and cry.
Oh, poor baby. Anyways, we should...
Yeah, we should probably talk about the movies.
Yeah, we're going on tangents now. This is just like the old podcast.
I was gonna say, but also like, I mean, these movies. I don't know how much we're gonna have to say about these, honestly.
There's a few things to say. There's a funny little story in one of these that I can tell. But yeah, we're talking about the Star Trek, the Next Generation films. Caleb, we finished the original series, and now we're on to the Next Generation. Tell me a little bit about the Next Generation and what Star Trek TNG like means to you, and what your relationship with that series is.
So TNG is like the thing that made me like fall in love with Star Trek. Like, I liked it. I really like, because I got into it like a lot of like, you know, people born in 1998 did, which is like I watched the Kelvin timeline movies. So like I remember watching like, you know those 3 and being like, oh wow, this is like cool and modern, and I wasn't into like old TV shows, and I didn't have like a nuanced palette for media like I do now. But God, that sounded fucking pretentious. Um,
A nuanced palette for media from Caleb.
yeah, and but as I got older, I'd hear people talk about TNG, about how great it is, all this stuff. And I love Patrick Stewart because he's in those X-Men's. And eventually, like during the pandemic, I had way too much fucking time on my hands, like most of us did. And so I would just like watch stuff. I watched like a shit ton of TV shows, got caught up on tons of all the shows like I didn't have time to watch for the last couple of years. So I watched like Harley Quinn, Swamp Thing, fucking Community, like tons of stuff. And then I finally was like, I might do some Star Trek. So I watched a bunch of older Star Trek from the original series, which I have not seen every episode of. So like I'm obviously a fake fan. And I watched the original cast movies, so the first 6, and then I watched all TNG over like 3 months or whatever, and I just really loved it. I mean, like I accepted that the first 2 seasons are like not very good, but I really fell in love with it. Then I watched the TNG movies, and then I watched Picard. There was only 1 season of Picard out at that time, so which I'm excited for you to watch Picard, Anthony. I can't wait to talk to you about that one day. But but with TNG, I think it's such a great show. It's one of the best like genre shows of all time. It's got a great cast and Wesley, and there's lots of just great episodes, great concepts, and just a really they really built upon the original series, but like they made it its own thing. Because at first it just kind of felt like, okay, well, this is just Star Trek again, but then they were able to give it its own identity and its own vibe, and they created so many like classic characters, classic episodes, and then it began the Rick Berman era, which extended to Deep Space Nine and Voyager and all that. But like TNG is like so great, and it was coming out alongside the last couple of movies with the original cast, and so then of course after the series ends, it's like, well, we got to continue the movies because it doesn't make money. And instead of just making a normal TNG movie, they were like, well, now we got to fucking do this goddamn crossover for some reason. But I am curious, Anthony, because like I love TNG. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, with some of my favorite characters of all time. How do you feel about TNG? Because I know you watched it more recently than I did, because I haven't watched TNG in about 4.5 years, or about 5 years roughly.
Yeah, I mean, TNG is definitely without a doubt like one of my favorite TV shows. And I think it's just like one of the best TV shows of all time. And I think you just have you have such strong characters and storytelling, especially when you get into the later seasons of like season, I think it starts getting pretty strong in season 3. And then of course season 4 is really good. And season 5 is also very good. And, I mean, it's a monumental, testament to the genre of sci-fi as a whole. And I just really love it. I love the tone. I love the feeling of TNG. I love the bridge of the Enterprise D, and how it just feels like it feels like cozy, and yeah, I mean, it's a great show, and like I can't wait to just like rewatch it again, and it's a fantastic show. You have amazing performances in there from, Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes, Gates McFadden, Brett Spiner, LeVar Burton. I mean, just like fantastic performances. Michael Dorn. And yeah, I mean, it's some of the best storytelling in the science fiction genre is in that series. And it's a shame that the movies kind of, I don't know, they really do not live up to the series. Because I think whereas the films of the original series, it really does feel like a continuation, right? It feels like you're taking a step forward and you're heading in that direction, like modernizing it, but also keeping like a lot of the aspects that made it work. And it feels like with TNG, they didn't take a step forward. They kind of took a step to the side.
Yeah.
And decided that they were just going to do something a little different.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. And we get that here with Star Trek, Generations. And, one of the things about this film is that when Gene Roddenberry was first making TNG, he was very against the idea of the original series cast members and the TNG cast members like crossing over. Like he didn't
Yeah.
want that to happen at all. And Bones has like one cameo in episode 1, season 1. And like that's really it until Gene dies, and then we get that two-parter with Spock where he shows up. And then, of course, there's the fantastic episode with James Doohan, Scotty, where they find him stuck in that pattern buffer. And that's a fantastic episode. But then I feel like with this first film we're talking about, you get kind of what Gene was fearing,
Yeah.
which is just like not good, not good writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this Star Trek Generations to me, it's really funny because this isn't actually the first time we've talked about it on this podcast. If you go back to like early on when we were doing this, we did an episode about our guilty pleasure movies.
Okay.
And I mentioned this because I get a lot of entertainment out of this movie because it's dumb as fuck.
Okay.
And I completely regret saying that now because I got no pleasure out of this viewing.
Really?
And yeah, there are elements I like about it.
Okay.
But it's better than like, some of the stuff we're gonna get later. Like it's better than fucking Nemesis. But like, it's just like. It's the first kind of time that, like, because Star Trek's had tons of bad fucking episodes, movies before that. Like, like we just talked about the fucking Final Frontier, or whichever one that is, Star Trek 5. And with this one, it's just like, this is schlock.
Right.
And it's where it's just like, it's just all about, like, weird fan service that, like, doesn't need to be that. Like, you could literally take Kirk out of this movie and it wouldn't matter.
I mean,
like
and yeah, and that was one of the first things I was going to ask you about was like that entire beginning sequence with the Enterprise B. Didn't need to be there. you could successfully edit that out, and it wouldn't change the film.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, you do get one of my favorite moments in all of Star Trek that Alan Ruck. Who many people will know, he's Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or
yes,
more recently he's Connor Roy on Succession, which I just has started watching this week, and it's I'm late to the party. It's a fucking great show.
Okay.
Also, side note, Jeremy Strong was born to play a Cardassian. Just wanted to put that out there if anyone is listening.
Okay, yeah, I like where you're going with this.
Yeah, and but so Alan Ruck, he is like the idea of him being the person who canonically takes the Enterprise over after Kirk is hilarious. I fucking love that, and I think that's great. And there are elements of the opening I think are interesting, like the whole like it's all just a media showcase is interesting, but they do nothing with that. Like it's just Kirk saves the day. Scotty and Chekhov say bland dialogue. And
originally they wanted Bones to be there. They wanted DeForest Kelly, and he read the script and he was like, "No, I'm not doing this shit." Like,
yeah,
which is great. I love that for him.
Yeah, it's so the opening scene. There's also a really funny moment in the opening scene where Sulu's daughter is there, and has an interaction with Kirk. And she doesn't say, "Oh, my father loved you." She says, "My father had some very interesting stories about you," and that is fucking hilarious because, as we know, famously George Takei and William Shatner do not get along still.
Yeah. Okay, so can I ask you a question about that scene? Because that scene happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's because I just get kind of weird vibes from like older William Shatner. Like, my apologies to William Shatner. I don't want you to like start an online beef with me.
Then we'll really be Red Letter Media. Finally,
finally, we've completed our transformation. But do you get the feeling that Kirk is like trying to hit on her?
Dude, I've never seen Kirk interact with a woman, and not thought he was trying to fuck her. So yeah, absolutely, I definitely got that vibe too.
Oh yeah, I think it's cool that Sulu's daughter is here, and of course, for hardcore Star Trek fans, we know that Sulu's daughter is a major plot point in the book The Captain's Daughter, which is about George Sulu. George Sulu, everybody, which is about Sulu on the Excelsior and dealing with his daughter, and it's written by Peter David, rest in peace.
Shit, so, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I bought the book on eBay. It's behind me in the shelf. I would reach over and grab it, but I'm lazy. I'm hunched over my microphone right now, so I'm busy. But yeah, it's supposed to be a really great book. I have it. I can't wait to read it. And it's cool that she's here. I like that. I like that we kind of get an idea that, like, you know, there's generations, right? Starfleet will continue on, and there will be like new generations of astronauts trekking across the stars.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But there's a few other people on the bridge here, Caleb. Most notably, Tim Russ is here.
Oh yeah.
Now, of course, Tim Russ we all know as the principal from iCarly.
Yes, he is.
Yes. But he was also, Star Trek fans will recognize him as Tuvok from Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what he's most well known for in the Star Trek fandom. And he's here very briefly, playing a lieutenant who has, I think, like 2 or 3 lines. And before, you know, all the shit happens. Did you recognize Tim Russ right away? Because I know you haven't gotten to Voyager yet, right?
No, yeah, I haven't started Voyager yet, but I did recognize him.
Yeah.
Because I've seen his picture a lot.
And he was also in a handful of TNG episodes as well. I know specifically there's that one episode where Picard becomes an action hero, and because he goes back to the Enterprise to get his riding saddle, and he discovers like a bunch of like pirates are trying to steal like shit from the D. And Tim Russ is one of the people who's on the ship during that exchange. I forget the name of the episode. Another individual who is not listed in the credits here, but she is there. She has like one line, is Jeanette Goldstein. And Jeanette Goldstein has been in a few things. She was in Near Dark, which is one of my favorite vampire films. Mm-hmm. She also played Private Vasquez in Aliens. Oh, and that's right. she played John Connor's mom in Terminator 2: Judgment Day. And so yeah, there's quite, and then of course you mentioned it, Alan Ruck, who was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Succession, and who on multiple occasions his character Cameron in Ferris Bueller we've compared to our mutual friend Steven. So
yeah, they are the same person.
Steven is essentially in Star Trek Generations. Everybody.
Yeah, but fun fact: Steven fucking does not like Ferris Bueller's Day Off as a film.
No, what's his problem? What's his deal, man?
Okay, so like I'm not. This isn't like the Shit on Steven podcast. We saved that for the old days, but like he just kind of says it's overrated and then won't explain to me why he doesn't like it, and it just makes me think like if we tried to like peel the layers back, it would probably turn into another Jurassic Park incident. Which is one of my favorite memories of the three of us hanging out.
Yeah, he's not like sore about that, is he? He's like he doesn't like
about it. He's fine.
He was embarrassed. I embarrassed him.
I won't say that. We won't leave saying he was embarrassed in it, but like he felt bad about it afterwards.
I don't want him to feel bad. I just wanted to ask him a question. I was like, "Can you elaborate on that, Stephen?" Like,
yeah, and that was such a funny fucking day. I don't even remember. Like, I don't even remember what year that was or when that happened, but it was fucking funny.
I mean, it must have been like recently. I think post-pandemic.
Oh yeah, it was definitely post-pandemic.
Yeah, and so Star Trek Generations. Who's the big bad besides the writers? I'm kidding, by the way. No, it's not the writer's fault. It's the director's fault. God damn it!
It's Alex from Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, Malcolm McDowell.
I have a really serious question. Like,
sure.
Do you like Malcolm McDowell as an actor? Like, and like outside of like Clockwork Orange.
The answer is yes, I do.
Okay.
I do, and here's the thing, right? Is that Malcolm McDowell, especially in the '90s, was in a lot of schlock.
Yeah,
he's in one of my favorite schlocky films of all time, which is Tank Girl, where he
Yeah,
also
he is.
where he also plays the villain, and he was also president in Fallout 3.
Oh my god, he is.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
yeah. So here's the thing, Oh, and hold on a second, because I was going to bring this up. Malcolm McDowell was also in the film. He was in a Nick Meyer film. Yeah, Malcolm McDowell was in the film Time After Time, which was written and directed by Nicholas Meyer, and Malcolm McDowell plays H.G. Wells.
Oh,
So there's our connection to the good Star Trek movies is
yeah.
there. But anyways, no, I do think that Malcolm McDowell is a good actor. I've seen Oh Lucky Man, which is a very long, bloated film, but I think he does fine in it. And of course, If is a very is a classic film. But
The
I
Ryan
mean,
Reynolds movie?
No, it's a different If from the 70s, where Malcolm McDowell plays a schoolboy.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, do you not care for Malcolm McDowell outside of Clockwork Orange?
I think I need to seek out more of his stuff, because I feel like I have the opinion of him, because he was in, we talked about that Bernie Sanders thing he was in last week,
Right.
where it's like this weird right wing slanted thing, even though he doesn't agree with it politically, I guess, but he just like needed money and wanted to do it. But also like so, have you watched the Castlevania series? The
I have
anime?
not. No, I have not.
So here's the thing. First of all, it was created by Warren Ellis, and he's a fucking piece of shit. So just putting that out there. But it is a good show, and in the final season, Malcolm McDowell is the big bad in that season.
Mm-hmm.
He okay, like slight spoilers for Castlevania, but there's no way that people wouldn't know about this. He plays Death, like the embodiment of death. And me and our buddy Steven watched this together, and it has become a inside joke, because for some reason the dialogue they gave this man was insane. So he's just saying shit like, "I was here the dawn of time to feast on all of you fuckers. I'm gonna rip your head off and shit down your neck." It's like it's like, why are you talking like this in Castlevania? Like, it's weird.
Wasn't Castlevania? Wasn't that produced by that one edgy guy who dresses like the Crow? What's his name?
Yes, it is.
It is.
He did
Yeah.
the Devil May Cry series. Yeah.
Okay. What's that guy's name?
It's Adi Shankar.
Might be. I don't know. I'm burning bridges this episode, everybody.
Yeah,
Anthony Unleashed.
This is our most controversial episode. But but it's like, yeah, because he wasn't like one of the writers, but he did produce it. So I'm sure more of the edgy stuff came from him.
Yeah.
But
he was like, "Okay, guys, yeah, look, I gotta finish putting on my eye makeup, and then afterwards, we're gonna make this guy say fuck."
Yeah, it's so Malcolm McDowell. I feel like again, he is a great actor in like Clockwork Orange, but I feel like my recent opinions of him have changed. But I should seek out more of his actually good stuff.
He was in Thelma. He played the big bad in that one too.
Oh, that's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. He's in that.
Yeah, but okay, so that was an interesting exchange back and forth.
Right, came to the conclusion that actually he's fine after
Yeah,
being wait.
This was going to be the big bombshell where Caleb is like, "Actually, Malcolm McDowell fucking sucks," and
Yeah.
I convinced you otherwise. I was like, "No, he's been in good stuff."
Yeah. But here's an even better question. So, this is gonna be a long episode. Is William Shatner, like, so we established a couple weeks ago, I asked you, is William Shatner a good actor? And we both agreed yes. Is William Shatner good in this movie?
No.
That motherfucker is sleepy. Like, let him take a nap.
Let him take a nap. I think he's tired. William Shatner in this film is definitely. I mean, and this is the thing, right? Is that it feels so tacked on, like it just like the connection that this film has with the original series. Just you could do away with it. I mean, you could do like a fan edit of this where you just edit out any reference to that shit, and like it would. Like, I don't think anything would really change, really. Yeah. I mean, I know that there is the climax of the film where, you know, Kirk does have a direct role in saving the day or whatever.
Oh, it's awful.
It is. It's really.
It's just people like roll. It's Patrick Stewart, William Shatner, and Malcolm McDowell just kind of like tussling on a cliff.
At one point, Patrick Stewart is just throwing rocks.
It's amazing.
he's just like, hey, here you go. I'm throwing rocks. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Do you know how fucking mad I'd be if I was an actor of Patrick Stewart's caliber and they're just like, all right, now throw some rocks, Patrick.
Is that why he ruined the next film?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anthony's spicy today.
Oh, Jesus.
I've had too much Earl Grey tea. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot in this movie that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I was going to ask you about Malcolm McDowell's character in this film, whose name I'm forgetting right now.
Soren.
Soren. Okay, not Sauron.
Yeah. No.
He's not a giant pterodactyl.
I fucking wish. I wish he was.
What is his goal? What is he trying to do?
He wants to live forever in like a space ribbon where he can like have his like best memories. Yep. That's it. He'll shoot a rocket into space. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like I was really trying to pay attention. Like I try to pay attention when I watch these movies.
Sure.
Any movie you want to pay attention to.
Which it's difficult to do with the TNG films to pay attention because you're just kind of like, what the fuck is going on?
You know, I'm after this week, I'm scared that I just don't love the TNG films at all. Almost like I feel like something really shifted in me because I didn't feel this way last time I watched them. But well, this one I just thought was funny and dumb, and it is funny and dumb. But like it's just like I was trying to pay attention and like that whole plot didn't work. Guinan's connection to the story, and I like Guinan as character.
I do
like,
too. Yeah,
but like Guinan's connection to the story is so sloppy and like poorly written. Like it's an interesting concept that like she was there on the mission where Kirk died or whatever. That's fine.
Sure.
Or when Kirk disappeared. But like just her connect, it just doesn't work. It would have made more sense for her to be in the next movie. Like,
yeah, it would have. Yeah.
Because she's more connected to the Borg, and Whoopi Goldberg was like super offended that they didn't bring her back, which that's valid. And it's just I don't know, it's just lame. Like his plan is lame. The connection that William Shatner's just been chopping wood for fucking 80 years is extremely weird. And then there's this subplot with Picard and Patrick Stewart fucking is doing his goddamn best because we've talked about him in bad movies before, and he's doing like the best he can with like this material where like they're trying to give him this very like human, you know, story about like legacy with like, oh no, my nephew's burned alive in a fire, and he's you know, he's very emotional and he's having a tough time. He's dealing with all this stuff that's kind of bubbling up, and it's with this connection of, oh, but you could like live forever, and they explore a lot of themes that the show already fucking covered, which is like, oh, is it like okay to just like be happy even if what you're experiencing isn't real? Like we've covered this with the, you know, Moriarty, with the guy from The Nanny. Like we've done that. So it's like now you're kind of in this situation where it's like you're trying to do it again with Picard, and then it's like with this connection to like Malcolm McDowell, and it's just very lame, and it's all just so Patrick Stewart and William Shatner can team up to, you know, tussle, and then William Shatner can fucking die. And which, by the way, in the books, he's not even dead. William Shatner wrote some sequel books where Kirk survives and gets to go on more adventures in the future.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, and I'm sure those are great. And it's very... This is just schlock. Like, I don't know any other way to talk about it. It's just, it doesn't feel complete. Like, even though Patrick Stewart's trying, they're trying to do interesting stuff with Data, and I find that not quite what I would like. And then the rest of the Next Generation cast might as well not even fucking be here because they have nothing to do at all. It's like great. Like I think like the, you know, Deanna Troi kind of shows up and goes, "Oh, he's feeling sad," and then you're like, "Oh, well, that's like her whole characters anyway." So you're like, "Oh, that's like normal."
But she gets to drive the ship, Caleb.
Yeah, and I know that you very famously said, considering the circumstances, she did an okay job.
Yes, I left a comment on one of Marina Sirtis's posts online, and I told her, I was like, considering the circumstances, I think you did a good job flying the ship, and she gave it a like, which I
Yeah.
which I was very grateful for, because I do like her. Like, I know that people shit on Deanna Troy's character, and I chalk that up more to bad writing, and
Oh yeah.
specifically not knowing how to write women. Surprise, a bunch of men in the 80s didn't know how to write women. But like, I don't dislike Marina Sirtis. She seems like a very nice, lovely woman, and I think there's a video out there of her like singing "Dancing Queen" by ABBA. Like, great way to make me fall in love with you, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, her character, her character, the way she's written in this is just, she's almost not there, and her accent is falling a lot. There's
Oh yeah, it is.
And like, I hate it when people are like sticklers about like, oh, if you listen to the way they pronounce that R, you can tell they're from, England or whatever. And it's like, fine, whatever. But like, it does get pretty noticeable and distracting when you hear Deanna Troy start talking in like a British accent.
Yeah.
Like, very briefly for like one or two lines of dialogue, you're like, wait a minute, who is this woman?
Yeah, it's it's a bummer that she didn't get more to. Riker is barely present in this movie. Geordi just gets a like, well, Data, we're friends. That's enough for me then. And then Worf, I mean, the whole opening is like he gets promoted on the holodeck in a really weird ceremony.
Yeah, do they do that for everyone who gets promoted? They take him out on a boat and then make him catch a hat or whatever?
It's fucking stupid. And then Beverly might as well not be in this at all. She has like 2 lines and gets like Data knocks her into the water.
Yeah, she doesn't really do a lot in this. Yeah, so Riker, talk about someone who doesn't do a good job flying the ship.
Yeah.
So at one point, because Soren's whole thing is that he teams up with Lursa and Bator,
Yeah, hell yeah.
who are in this, and they're from TNG.
Great to see him.
Great to see him. I love seeing my Klingon sisters, and they are sisters. I'm not calling them my sisters, but like the Klingons who are
honestly,
sisters.
I know they are sisters, but I felt like you were saying they are your sisters.
Well, I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Neither do I. I'm not really sure where this is going, because I don't find Klingons attractive at all, except for Kalar. Kalar is beautiful. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so they team up with Sauron, and they start. Shut up, Caleb.
I'm sorry.
So they team up with Sauron and they start firing at the Enterprise, and they get the Enterprise like shield frequencies or whatever, because they hack into Geordi's sunglasses and he's walking around just kind of like looking at shit.
Yeah, they do.
They hack into his little Cyclops visor.
Yeah, last appearance of that, because he gets his contact lenses because LeVar Burton hated the visor.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But okay, so they start firing at the ship, because they know the shield frequencies, right? So they start firing at the ship. Why doesn't Riker just change the shield frequencies? Like, they've done that before.
I guess he read the script.
The script is like in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, it just didn't.
It's like, we need to crash the Enterprise D so we can give you a stupid looking ship in the next movie.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah.
So I brought up my sisters earlier, Lursa and Bator. What do you think about them?
I like them as characters.
I like them as characters too. I always love it when they showed up in TNG, but we see them in this film. They're completely useless, and then they blow up.
Yeah, I do like the scene where they blow up. The reactions are great. But yeah, no, I guess thought
so.
It's kind of pointless. I remember when I first watched this, I really was like, why didn't they just have it be like Denise Crosby's like Romulan daughter from like the alternate universe?
Yeah, Sayla. Yeah, why hasn't Sayla come back yet? What's going on there?
Yeah, I get like it's like I feel like Denise Crosby would have been really cool if they gave her like one of the movie paydays at any point, which they don't.
Yeah, I would have liked that. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's a much better idea, Caleb? Why do you have better ideas than the people who wrote this?
Because I don't care about like paychecks and bullshit. Like I just like I like stories.
I
I
just
like
love stories, man.
I
That's
just
what
love
life's all
stories.
about.
Yeah, it's like, but no, it's like I think that would have worked a lot better. Or even just getting like a villain with like motivations that make sense and aren't just like because it's just it's so schlock, and it's cool that they got Malcolm McDowell, even though I hate him. But like, but it's just like this is a goofy episode, but like it's just like it's I don't know. It's just it's kind of nothing. Like but the real question I have for you though is do you like Data's whole subplot about experiencing emotion? Like, do you think that's satisfying as one of the best written characters in all of Star Trek in Next Generation? Do you think that his arc works in this movie?
Not really.
No, it
I,
doesn't.
I feel like it's a huge regression for his character actually, and it's kind of frustrating to me.
Yeah,
Because like I do love Data. Like Data is one of my favorite characters in Star Trek, and I just feel like they took a big step back with him. And we'll see that more in the next film with other characters as well, who feel like they just kind of like I don't know, like I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the TNG films. I feel like with the TOS films, and it's funny because like the best ones are written by a guy who didn't even like Star Trek.
yeah,
Um, and with these films, it's like it feels like they're being written by people who have never seen Star Trek.
yeah,
Because like there's a lot of mischaracterizations. Characters are doing stuff that doesn't make sense. They are there's huge regressions in their character development where it feels like this is a Data that we would have seen like in maybe season 3, and not the Data that we see at the end of season 7, right? I mean, by this point, like he's already met his dad. He met his mom, who turned out not to be his mom. Spoiler alert, kind of. And then he's already had the shit go on with his brother, and it just feels like I'm seeing a completely different Data. I don't know. It feels dishonest to the character, the way he's played here, and not against Brent Spiner. I think Brent Spiner's, he's a fantastic actor. I just feel like the story here is just really weak.
yeah. I also have something to say. Is like I don't think the Data makeup was ever meant to be filmed on. It was never supposed to be for film cameras. Is what I'll say because it looks really bad in these movies.
Well, so like the original TNG show was filmed on film,
Yeah,
but it wasn't supposed to be on a big screen.
yeah,
it
no,
was made
exactly.
for standard definition 4:3 televisions in the 80s. And yeah, it does look like a guy with like caked on silver paint, because that's kind of what he is. Like
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't look particularly very good. But anyways,
yeah,
so I
and
guess our opinions on this film is not good.
yeah, no, it's not. Unfortunately, and there's something else I was gonna say about this. I'm trying to think of everything that happens in this movie all at once.
Well, they have the final confrontation is on that bridge,
Oh
which is
yeah,
like the least. I don't know. It's like the least interesting part of the whole film. Where like everything that happens on that little rock planet, I just don't care.
it's so lame. And like William Shatner, like when they kill off Kirk, like they can't decide what they want him to have his final line be, so they give him like two different like last words where they give him like, oh, it was fun, and then they have him go, oh my, and then he just dies, and it's like I don't know. It's such a weird. Just such a strangely written. It's like you said. It's like it's written by people who've never seen Star Trek. Where it's like why, like I don't even give a fuck about them killing Kirk off or anything like that. But like just like being like, oh, he's just like kind of like falls off of a little bridge, and
Hmm.
gets smashed. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, why are we doing
Yeah,
this?
it is a pretty anticlimactic death for a character who's been through so much, where he just falls.
Yeah,
So he just like trips and he's like, ah, fuck, and just like,
like at least Han Solo got stabbed.
yeah. Han Solo got stabbed with a lightsaber by his son.
Yeah, so it's like it's just I don't know. It's just a very sloppy movie. It's very lame. movie. It's uninspired, and it's just a lame cash grab. And yeah, I and I do think the next generation movies get slightly better after this, but not by like a ton. I think there's tons of issues with these as these go on, but like yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't. This movie just sucks, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure where the TNG films are going to go next. I mean, I've seen Generation or First Contact. I've seen First Contact now. Um,
Oh wait,
but
have you not seen the other two?
I haven't. No, I haven't
Oh
seen
fuck.
Nemesis or the one with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one with Tom Hardy.
And what's the other one?
Insurrection.
Insurrection. Yeah, the subtitles get lazier and lazier as we go on.
At least they tried for the first six.
That's true. Yeah, except for Final Frontier, I don't like that title.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, Star Trek Generations not good. We did not enjoy it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the next film, Star Trek First Contact, Caleb, what's going on here? What's happening?
So for Star Trek First Contact, was directed by Jonathan Frakes, written by Ronald D. Moore and Brandon Braga, story by Rick Berman, based on Star Trek, created by Gene Roddenberry, cinematography by Matthew F. Leonetti, edited by John W. Wheeler, and starring Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, Michael Dorn, Gates McFadden, Marina Sirtis, Alfred Woodard, James Cromwell, Alice Craig, Neil McDonough, Adam Scott, Patty Yasutake, Majil Barrett, Don Stark, and Coley Fredrickson. And the synopsis is: the Borg travel back in time intent on preventing the Earth from first contact with alien species. Captain Picard and his crew pursue them to ensure history is not altered. I need to stop pulling these from IMDb because I don't like how that sounded. But anyway, so First Contact, this is probably the best Next Generation movie.
Right. I would concur.
Yeah, so unfortunately. And I remember when I watched this for the first time, I was like, I like this a lot. And rewatching this last night, I was like, holy fuck, I think this is fine. Like, this is passable. So many more issues with this than I remember having originally. Like, I really don't love this. I think it's okay, but like I find this, the plot is fine at its core, but like it's a lot of the elements around the plot that don't work. Like the idea of the Borg being a villain, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of the time travel thing, First Contact, bringing James Cromwell in, who's also in Succession, that's great. But just the elements with like the Borg Queen, Data's storyline, Picard, it doesn't come together as well as it could have. I think with just a little more thought put into it. I think this is very like surface level stuff. But how do you feel about this film?
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think if I'm judging this purely as a science fiction film, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. There's some cool sci-fi stuff in it. There's time travel stuff, which I really like. There's like alien invasion stuff, which is always fun. As a Star Trek movie, I do have issues. I have issues, and specifically a TNG film. But first off, I want to ask you, what do you think about the Borg? Because the Borg are kind of like the big bad of the TNG era, much in the way that like the Cardassians or the or more specifically the Dominion are for DS9, right? How do you think the Borg do in this film, and what do you think about them in general?
So I love the Borg. They're one of my favorite elements of Star Trek. I think they're such a fascinating just concept. I think they're really terrifying and really cool. Like I love the design, I love the concept, and I'm a huge fan of like most of the Borg episodes. Like Best of Both Worlds is great. I think the stuff they do in the last season with Live with Lore is interesting. But
and then
like,
of course there's the classic Iborg. With
yes,
Hugh.
That's great too.
Yes.
Yeah. And then now you get to this point with it where like we're we've done a lot of Borg stuff, and like I know Voyager does some stuff with it too, and that sounds really cool. I don't know much about Seven of Nine, unfortunately, but I know they do some really interesting stuff with that. But you get to this film, and it's just kind of like taking it back a step, like we're going back to like, oh, Picard is like dealing with nightmares and he's afraid of the Borg and he's connected to them, and we're just kind of like doing that again. And then he starts acting super out of character and is acting really weird. But the Borg itself, I like them. This movie also ends up fucking up the entire concept, because the idea of having an actual like leader, like, and you could argue that whenever they took over Picard, that it was more of a it was a strategic thing where they were also like using it like in a way to like throw off the Federation, and all that stuff. So like I thought that worked really well. But the idea of just being like, oh no, all along there was like a queen, and I think the idea is to make them seem like bees, where it's like, you have like this central kind of thing on top. But to me, number one, like, why would it be a queen? Like the Borg don't really have gender, so like that doesn't that's a little odd, um, in my opinion. But then also just in general, like the idea of the concept is like where the queen's entire motivation seems to just be, it's like this weird like reverse Bride of Frankenstein thing where she's like, oh, I want like, she just kind of wants like an equal to her, which is like why she got why she turned Picard into Locutus, and like why she wants to manipulate Data, and like that's fine as a separate thing, but I just don't think it needs to be the Borg. Like I don't think the Borg is necessary for this. Like it's just it just feels really weird, and like and no disrespect to Alice Krieg, who I think does, her performance is good, and like the character design is good, but the actual just like stuff where it's all just like horniness, and that's really weird. Like it's just like, ooh, what if I gave Data skin and I blew on it and gave him goosebumps and boners and such, and it's like, okay, well, like, but then it's also that thing where like, but we've already had, Data's already experienced like sexual related stuff and relationships and stuff like that, so it's like we're going back over that, which is weird. And then the whole, oh, what if Data had skin and he could be touched and stuff, it's like these movies have no idea what to do with him, complete misunderstanding of his character, and it just feels weird. And then Picard just turns into a fucking asshole and is just like, it's just like, okay, cool, then there's some gas and it kills the queen, and it's like, oh well, that's that then. And it doesn't, I don't think this works.
Yeah, kind of in the previous film where the stuff that was on the planet was the least interesting stuff. I think in this film it's kind of flipped, where
Yeah.
I'm really into what's going on with James Cromwell, and they're building the ship. And I feel like the stuff on the Enterprise is like my least favorite stuff. Yeah, the characterization of Data is weird. I feel like the writers don't know what to do with him in these films. And yeah, Picard is acting really out of character. And I know that people often use the excuses like, well, he has PTSD from his time with the Borg. And I mean, like, one, I think that would be interesting if it was done well. But also, like, his time with the Borg happened very early on in the series, like season 3, season 4.
Yeah.
And we see throughout the series afterwards, he has interactions with the Borg, and that's never come up. That's never been an issue for him. It wasn't an issue for him with Iborg, with the guy Hugh, I think, right, was his name?
Yeah.
The Borg who, gets separated from the consciousness. And I know that sometimes like PTSD can be something that resurfaces years later because of like a trigger or something. But yeah, the way that Picard is portrayed in this movie is just not something that I find particularly very interesting. And the whole storyline with the Borg, I'm just not a big fan of. And I guess this will be like my hot take of the day, is that I feel like the Borg work very well in the earlier episodes. Specifically like with the episode where Q, brings the Borg onto the ship.
Oh yeah.
And then of course in Best of Both Worlds. But I feel like after that, after Best of Both Worlds, it's like, I don't know what else you can really do with the Borg. I feel like, I feel like that they're a villain that kind of, you run out of stuff for them to do. And I think that's part of the reason why this movie, especially the stuff with Patrick Stewart and the Borg stuff, is just, it doesn't land very well for me. It really doesn't like interest me very much. And of course, you get this whole thing at the end where Picard basically turns into a action hero.
Oh yeah,
where he's like mowing down Borg people with Tommy guns, and then he's like climbing up these he's climbing up these like ropes with like a sleeveless tank top.
Yeah,
and it's like what the fuck am I watching? Am I watching Star Trek right now?
Is that the right movie on?
Is like you're telling me that this movie is a continuation of a series where some of the most compelling shit has happened with people just sitting around a table and talking, and now the film is like action scenes and shootouts in space. Like, what's happening here, guys?
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, do you want to know a great example? And I just watched this recently, which is why I think it's so fresh in my mind. Is like a great example of how to write Picard, like post Best of Both Worlds and like years after the facts. Is in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, where he's talking to Sisko, and Sisko. So for people who don't know, Commander Sisko, his backstory is that in the during Best of Both Worlds, his wife was killed. During that conflict, so he's like raising his son alone, and he mentions to Picard, because this is when Picard was taken over, by the Borg. He mentions to Picard that happened to him, and Picard looks like sad and mournful for a second, but then he kind of keeps going, and it's like that is very in line with like Picard's character and how that works. And then you get like a lot of, and that whole episode, the pilot of Deep Space Nine is pretty good. Like you get some more stuff of Picard as Locutus, which in dream stuff that's related to the Bajorans is not important for this, but it's important for that show. It's not important for this episode of the podcast. But
just go watch Deep Space Nine, guys. It's a great show.
It's fucking awesome. Like, it's so good. But there's that. But also, so with the Borg, I have a really interesting fact for you, and I don't know if you know this.
Okay, give it to me, man. I'm ready.
Are you familiar with the Heaven's Gate cult?
Yes. Am I familiar with? Yeah, I am, Caleb. Yes, I was never a member.
Yeah. No, yeah, but...
no. Actually, I joined up specifically for the Nike shoes, and then once it got to like the whole mass suicide, I was like, okay, guys, this is a little too much. And, like, I just wanted a fresh pair of kicks. Like, what's going on? Is it too soon to make jokes about Heaven's Gate?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
It's
you know that happened in San Diego, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, but so Heaven's Gate. There's a really great documentary about it that was on Max. And so a huge thing that the leaders of this cult did was they would force their members to watch Next Generation, and specifically the Borg episodes, and they would go, "That's how society should be. That you should be like the Borg."
Okay.
And that, which is weird as fuck. That's again talking about media literacy being in the toilet. And
yeah, you guys missed the point.
Yeah, but also, so one member of this cult who was part of the mass suicide was Nichelle Nichols' brother.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like what a weird connection to that. But like also just like imagine like writing like a really good like sci-fi concept, and then like a bunch of insane manipulative people just decide to be like, no, that's how life should be.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if some science fiction writer wrote a bunch of stuff that made people join a cult, and there was a bunch of people who had ties to the entertainment industry who joined that cult. That'd be weird if that happened in real life.
Yeah, I didn't even make that connection until just now. But yeah, that's
what connection? Okay, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
This hasn't happened yet.
Go watch The Master. But
what's the deal with these sci-fi cults, man? Shit.
Yeah, it's so weird. But
anyways,
so the Borg plot in this does not really work. But you do get a really great moment that's so in character, so Star Trek when Worf blows up a Borg ship and then goes, what the fuck does he say? He says like
he says assimilate this.
Yeah, he says assimilate this, which is like, why is he saying action lines?
because he's Worf.
Worf is a very like thoughtful character who like is very focused on like honor and like he's a very sensitive guy. So the idea of him
Right.
yelling fucking action one-liners is insane.
Well, I guess one question I have is why is Worf here?
He's on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in Deep Space Nine. Like he shows up on the Defiant, which has the Defiant shown up yet? Where you're watching?
Yeah.
The ship. Okay, I forget which episode it first premiered in, but yeah, so he shows up on the Defiant, which by the way, cool ship.
Oh yeah.
And then he's just like, well, I guess I'm here now, and like, what's going on DS9? Like, are they okay? What's Odo and Kira up to? Like, what are they up to? What's going on with my favorite bartender? Like, what's happening?
Where's Chief O'Brien, who also again never got one of these movie paydays, which is insane.
It would have been really funny if Chief O'Brien had shown up in one of these films. That would have been great. And he was like, "Yeah, I just got to get away from the old ball and chain, my wife."
His relationship with his wife is fascinating.
It gets even more fascinating as you go on with the S9.
I'm excited, but like it's also so funny because like imagine like Chief O'Brien like talking to Zephyr Cochrane.
That would be really fun, yeah. And then like Zephyr Cochrane could be like racist against Irish people or something. I don't know.
Yeah, wait, it's funny because he's the alcoholic.
Caleb.
Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know. I'm not going to. I wanna make it known. I love the Irish. I've been to Ireland. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people. I have no ill will against Irish people from Ireland. They're wonderful, and I love them and their culture.
Yeah, I love Ireland too. Fuck England.
Okay.
Anyway, so the point. This is a silly episode for sure. A sillier one than we've ever had before. But is I think the whole stuff with Zephyr Cochrane. Even if you ignore, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get silly again. If you ignore that his name sounds like you're saying Zephyr Cochrane, if you ignore that, he that whole subplot is great. I think James Cromwell gives a great performance. I think that like his interactions with like Geordi and Riker are great, and the scene where Deanna Troi gets really drunk and is like talking to him is legitimately really funny.
Yeah, we get probably some of the best Deanna Troi scenes of all of TNG in this film.
Yeah,
and it's like for 2 or 3 minutes, but it is great. Yes, and I love James Cromwell. He's one of my favorite actors, and the stuff going on where they're like building the ship and they're getting ready is like so fucking cool. I wish the movie was just that. Like that would have been really fun.
Yeah, and it's like but yeah, just in general, like I think that those elements like that would have made a great episode of TNG, just like them being stuck in the past, having to make sure first contact happens.
Yeah, like they could have been sent back in time by accident, which happens more than you'd think for some reason, and they could have met Zephyr Cochrane and they're like, oh my god, he's like the most amazing ship builder of all time, and then they meet him and he's like. He's like this kind of washed out drunk who's like given up, and they have to like, encourage him to kind of do what he's supposed to do. And like the whole movie kind of revolves around him, like making sure that they build the warp drive and that they make sure that, first contact is made. Like, I think that would have been a much more interesting film instead of, Patrick Stewart has to be an action hero for an hour and a half. Like,
yeah. And so I have an interesting question. So we haven't talked about her. Do you think Alfre Woodard's character is good in this?
Remind me, who's she again?
She's she's Zephyr Cochrane's friend who ends up like stuck on the Enterprise.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I think she's all right. I think she does a decent job. Yeah,
she's a good actor. I like her.
Yeah. What else has she been in?
So she's in Captain America: Civil War. She's the woman in that who confronts Tony Stark and is like, who's going to avenge my son, Stark?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, back when the Russos made good films.
Yeah, and she also, she's in Luke Cage. She plays Mariah Dillard, and she gives an insane performance in that show.
Nice. I like that.
She has one of the funniest reactions I've ever seen in something. She's great. Yeah, and also apparently, like, she, like, wasn't familiar with Star Trek, didn't know anything about it, didn't know what the Borg looked like, so like when I guess some of her reactions are like legitimate, because she was just kind of freaked out by how they looked.
They are freaky looking. They are definitely freaky looking. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think she does a good job. But it's also one of those weird scenarios where it's like they kind of want her and Picard to be love interests, and like there was probably a draft where they are, but you can see little elements where like some of their scenes it seems like they are, some scenes it seems like they aren't, and it's just kind of like it's probably a couple drafts like mixed together where like some dialogue stays the same, some changes. You know how it fucking is.
Yeah, I mean, as we all know, Picard has a type, and that's redheads.
Yeah.
So, and she's not a redhead.
Yeah,
so clearly it never would have worked.
Does he even interact with Beverly in these first two movies?
Not really, yeah.
Anyway, it again really does feel like the writers of this didn't watch Star Trek. I don't know. This movie is just like, it's such a bummer because like I was really looking forward to rewatching this because I was like, this is the good one that I remember liking, and then I was like, oh.
I mean, it is the good one of the TNG films.
Yeah, it's fine.
And I know like if I had to give it like a score of 1 to 5, I probably would give it like a 3. To me, it's like a very 3 out of 5 type of film.
I would say that too.
Yeah. It's just I think I would probably like this a little more if it wasn't a Star Trek film.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I whatever. As you mentioned when we were talking about the previous film, LeVar Burton in this movie has cybernetic eyes, which we see him zoom in and out and doing heat signatures and stuff. What do you think about LeVar Burton's new look in this film?
I mean, I think it's for him as an actor. I know that it's better for him. I mean, he doesn't have anything really to do with it. Unfortunately, like he just kind of like they don't give him anything, but like it must have been nice. And I think he has them in the last episode of TNG, right? Like when they're doing the future stuff.
Yes, yeah, and when they're in the future, he doesn't have the visor anymore.
Yeah, so it's like I think that works. I think that's good progression. It makes sense that like technology would get better, so like you wouldn't need the visor anymore. You just have like the lenses, and
right.
It's cybernetic eyes. Like I think that works. But like I mean, it's like I like that. I think it's a positive. It's a good step forward for these. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, whenever I see LeVar Burton without the visor, I just immediately think of Reading Rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like when he's doing his little pep talk with Zephyr Cochrane, I just expect him to like pull out a copy of The Rainbow Fish or something and start talking about how important it is to read and go to your local reading, your local book festival or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember book fairs, guys? Remember when those were a thing?
Oh, those are cool. Yeah,
those were a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you like that James Cromwell says Star Trek in this?
I actually kind of do. I kind of.
I don't think it's as good as when Q. I don't think it's as good as when Q does it.
Okay.
But I think that felt a little more natural, and it's like something Q would say with this. He's like, "Oh, so you guys are astronauts on a Star Trek."
Well, he says like a trek across the stars, doesn't he?
That's what Q says. James Cromwell says Star Trek.
Oh, he does? Okay, I must have forgotten that. He was like, it's like, this is some sort of Star Trek, and you're going to make first contact with the Nemesis, and he just starts dropping all the movie lines.
It's like the motion picture.
Some kind of voyage home. James Cromwell, he's Will Smith from Suicide Squad. He's like, what is this? Some kind of Star Trek?
Yeah, it really felt like that, where it's like it's one of those where you almost like half expect him to like fucking turn to the camera like it's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah, because who would watch a movie about Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah. We should follow this up with a series on Kevin Smith so we can really lose our minds and get silly with it.
That would be fun. Kevin Smith, I have a lot of respect for him.
And you met him recently.
I met him. I did. I met him at the Dogma Roadshow, and I met his wife and child, who were both also very charming. Yeah, that would be a fun series, the Kevin Smith series.
Yeah.
So then after all of this, we finally get to it. We finally get to the point of the movie, which is first contact, and it's with the Vulcans.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
I love that scene. I think it's the best scene in the movie. It's just it's just cool as hell, and I wish it was in something a little bit better. But like really like that, and I like that they do the live long and prosper thing, and he just kind of doesn't really know how to do it, so he just like shakes his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's charming. That's good writing.
That is good writing.
It's
Yes,
great.
we found it, guys. It's the good writing.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, no, I think that's great. Like, I love that. Yeah, no notes on that one. I think it's like, if you just show me that out of context, I'd be like, oh, cool, this must be attached to a great film.
And instead, it's attached to like an okay movie.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I know I've been kind of negative about this, but like, I really don't think this is a terrible time. Like, you can throw it on and laugh whenever Data's getting horny and kissed, and then enjoy the actual good bits. Just like we could get Topher Grace to do the Zephram Cochrane cut. That's just all of that stuff.
There's a joke in the film about how Data, I guess, didn't last very long with the Queen. Like,
oh yeah,
and he's like, "Trust me, sir, for an android, it was an eternity." And I'm like, "Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, buddy. I've been there before."
Yeah, yeah. That was God, what a weird fucking subplot.
Yeah, where Data and the Borg Queen, like, I guess the implication is they have sex.
Yeah,
like they fuck. they
like,
fucked in the movie.
I don't think the like, look, again, I'm not against like sex in movies at all. Some of my favorite movies have sex in them. It's fine, but like the Borg should. I don't think the Borg should be having sex. I think
not even the Borg Queen in her latex costume.
Okay, look, like I'm not saying there's nothing there with that, okay. but what I am saying is there shouldn't be a Borg Queen in general. I'm just fundamentally against that concept. I don't think it works.
I don't think it really works either.
But like, I guess,
but she does look great though.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, it's like I don't love the giving Data skin so he can, like, it's such a weird subplot that I just like it's just missing the whole point of the character, which is like they're just trying to like force all this, and it gets dumb as fuck too in the next two. But like, I was gonna ask you though, did you like it when he says shit in Generations?
When does he say that?
When the ship is crashing.
Who says shit? Data says shit?
Data. He goes, oh shit.
Oh yeah, he does do that. Yeah, when he crashes the ship, or when Marina Searchers crashes the ship.
Yeah, and I thought that was hilarious when I first saw it. And this time I was like, okay.
Okay, first of all, Riker, I'm happy he never became a captain in TNG, because clearly he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No, yeah.
Why did he ask the counselor to just fly the ship?
It's because he's in love with her.
There's got to be one other person on that bridge who is more qualified to fly the ship.
Yeah, it's also, I just realized something. Do you realize that, like, in these two movies, you would never know that, like, Riker and Troy are, like, in love, or that, like, Worf and Troy dated for a little bit?
Oh yeah. I always try to forget about the Worf-Troy relationship.
That's some like last season bullshit. Like, we're out of ideas, guys.
What if the woman whose job was to sense emotions went out with the guy who's full of emotions? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Anyways, we're done now. Bye. No, I do not. I didn't like that. That relationship made me uncomfortable. So
yeah. But one thing I'll also say though about these movies, I forgot to mention, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, the lighting in Generations is awful.
They made it really dark.
Yeah. Why does it look like that?
I think I might have an explanation, because for Generations they used the original bridge set from the show.
Yeah.
Now the show was filmed. It was filmed for 4:3 standard definition, TV, and I feel like it probably would not have looked very good on a big screen. It probably would not have looked very good on, especially if you saw this when it came out, like in theaters. So I think because of that, they lit it dimly to make it look less television. We're mentioning them again, folks. Red Letter Media.
Mm-hmm.
did a video about like Star Trek TNG mistakes,
Yes.
and one of the things that they talk about, and it's not like a CinemaSins type video. It's a very like loving video where they say like, we love Star Trek, like we're just, we know this because we've watched this so many times. But they do talk about how like there's a lot of parts of the set that, because it's a TV set, was built kind of cheaply, right? And I think that that's probably why it was filmed, why the lighting in Generations is so bad. So, but I
Yeah.
agree.
Um, but yeah, it's really a bummer because, like, again, like, like these films not amazing, but like, the TOS films are like much better. Because you have four really good ones and then the two that aren't so good. But like this one so far is just like, off to a really bad start and then off to kind of, and then going, okay, this is better, but still, like, I'd like some actual fucking food, please. And then I have opinions about Insurrection. I have a lot of opinions about Nemesis. Oh yay. Um, uh,
Yeah. I'm excited to see them for the very first time. It'll finally be like my first impressions.
yeah, and
So
I know a lot of trivia about Insurrection that I'm going to be excited to talk to you about also because it could have been a really good movie. Uh,
I'm gonna look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah.
Um, uh, Jonathan Frakes did direct First Contact. He's also directed a lot of episodes of Star Trek, even up until very recently with season 3 of Strange New Worlds. What did you think about his direction in this?
He's a good director. He's a good director. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he's better than William Shatner. It's like I think
But is he as good as Leonard Nimoy?
no,
He's
but
definitely not as good as Nicholas Meyer.
yeah, of course not. Better than J.J. Abrams, maybe.
I
So it's like, but Jonathan Frakes though, I think the thing that comes out in his direction is that he loves Star Trek. Like if you fucking follow him on Instagram, it's all this dude posts about is like happy birthdays to Armin Shimmerman, and like which we should all be posting first of all, and like he just like he fucking like loves sci-fi, loves it. Like he's done tons of like sci-fi cameos in the. Now I've never watched this show because the bits I've seen are not good. But like he voices like Star-Lord's dad in like the Disney XD Guardians of the Galaxy show. And like
That's
shit like
awesome.
yeah, so he's like done lots of cool stuff. Like he loves this shit, and that passion comes through because he like, and that's also why Riker gets more to do because it's the director, it's his character. But like it's like he clearly like he knows these actors. He get a lot better performances because like in Generations, like the performances were not as good as you would expect. And in this one, those get kind of back on course where you're like, oh yeah, this is how these characters typically act. And even if Picard's acting like an asshole, like Patrick Stewart's still giving a good performance. So it does. Yeah, it works. I like Jonathan Frakes, and he directs the next one as well.
He does, yes. I've thought about getting these movies on DVD and Blu-ray just to listen to his commentary.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
I've seen clips of his commentary like on TikTok, and it looks funny. It sounds very funny. And I think there's like a clip of him with Marina Sirtis doing the commentary, and they're like kind of making fun of the movie together. But anyways, I really want to see. I really want to like watch those movies with commentary.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I've been meaning to because I got the new. I mean to do more commentary tracks. I got the new Superman on Blu-ray, and I need to listen to the James Gunn commentary on that.
Oh hell yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I feel like when I was younger, I listened to so many commentary tracks.
Me too. Yeah.
And I feel like I just don't anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on. And like I will buy movies specifically for commentaries, and then I just never listen to them.
Yeah, it's funny. The last time I really remember doing this was when I was like 16. I rewatched the first 3 X-Men movies, and then listened.
Yes.
And then listened to the commentary tracks. But then in retrospect, like, oh no, like, oops, all sex pests.
Well, yeah, but the commentary I remember because I listened to the commentary of X2, and I love the commentary track for X2, especially when they're talking to the cinematographer, because the cinematographer for X2 has a lot of really cool stuff to say. It's a shame that the director of that movie is the fucking worst.
Yeah, and in those commentary tracks, you can tell that Bryan Singer is a very weird guy. Like, he comes off as very quiet, weird, and then, anyway. But this isn't about Bryan Singer. We fucking talked about him a shit ton already.
Yeah,
other
we're
episodes.
just lamenting how we don't watch commentaries anymore, but I want to. I want to do that.
Yeah.
But anyways, on our next episode, Caleb,
Yeah.
we're getting into the nitty gritty. We're getting into the dirty slop, the fucking sewers of Star Trek. We're getting into Insurrection and Nemesis, and then, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a real adventure. It's gonna be a trek of something, of maybe some bullshit.
It's gonna be a trek across the stars, Caleb.
Oh my god.
Like some sort of Star Trek.
What is the like? I can't wait for the next movie where you can have Data say, "What is this, Captain? An insurrection?" Or then Tom Hardy shows up and says, "I'm your nemesis."
And then Chris Pine shows up and he's like, "This is Star Trek 2009."
Yeah, and then Benedict Cumberbatch shows up and says, "Into darkness. Why am I white?"
I just imagine Benedict Cumberbatch yelling, "Why am I white?" Why is that so silly?
I think that's in a Hobbit deleted scene.
While he's crawling around in his motion capture suit.
Yeah.
Anyways, we need to end.
We need to end this. This is gonna get goofy.
All right. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Viva Film Podcast. My name is still Anthony.
My name, I don't even know what my name anymore is, but we'll see if I can find it next week, guys.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, and good night. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of Viva Film. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and give us a rating. Shout out to Tommy Red Flemming for designing our logo, and please join us again next week on Viva Film.